Hey everyone, it's me Erica, and today I have my Booktube-A-Thon Wrap Up. The Booktube-A-Thon was really fun. It was my first read-a-thon ever. I think I did pretty well for how fast I read and how much I can read in a week. So the first book that I read was Mockingjay by Susan Collins, and this completes the challenge of finishing a trilogy or a series. Mockingjay is the last in the Hunger Games trilogy, and I really enjoyed this one. It was very different from the other two. I felt like it was more like militaristic with like guns and all that stuff, and just very planned out, like a planned attack. It wasn't focused on the Hunger Games like the other two books were. It was focused on bringing down the Capitol, organizing troops and all that stuff. Overall, I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars. The only thing that I had a problem with this book was I felt like Gale was still a loose end at the end of the book. They tell us where he is, but I feel like things weren't resolved between him and Katniss. Susan Collins could have done a better job with that, but that is the only thing I had trouble with. I actually had higher expectations for death in this book. I thought more people were going to die. They were definitely not who I expected, and it was kind of depressing because my favorite character dies. But what can you do? What can you do? I really enjoyed it. I liked how this series ended, and I really can't wait for the movies now. This book is 390 pages, and I read 295 pages on Monday, and then I finished the rest of it on Tuesday. The next book I read was Gone by Michael Grant, and this completes the challenge of reading a book over 500 pages, and also completes the challenge of reading a book that's been on your shelf forever. One day, everyone 15 and older just disappears off the earth, and these children now have to survive. They have to look after one another. They have to be the mothers and fathers for the little kids, and they just have to get through life dealing without parents. And then some of them start to develop powers, and so it's just kind of like, what the heck is going on? How are we going to get through life now without adults here, and where did the adults go? So I really, really enjoyed this book. This book was so fast-paced and so intense. I really enjoyed it. I loved all the characters except for Quinn. He was, I think he needed to be slapped a few times. And same with Drake. I really enjoyed his writing style, and it was great. I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars, and I read this over the course of 3 days, I believe. I started it on Tuesday after I finished Mockingjay. Then I read a good half of it on Wednesday, and I finished it on Thursday. This book was 558 pages, so definitely a big mama. The next book that I read was The Summoning by Kelly Armstrong. I started this on Thursday and I finished it on Sunday. So this was the last book I read for the Booktube-A-Thon, but I loved it. This was my reread for the Booktube-A-Thon. And yeah, I loved revisiting the characters and the storyline, and I forgot how freaking creepy this book was. I definitely could not read it at night. That's what took me so long to finish this. This book follows a girl named Chloe, and all of a sudden she starts seeing dead people, and due to an incident at her school, she is sent into a home where other troubled teens are, and she finds out that these teens also have kind of superpowers and supernatural abilities. And they're kind of figuring out what's so special about this place, why are they all here, and, is it safe? So, they're trying to uncover the secrets of this all, and also, trying to dealing with their own condition. I loved the ending. The ending was such a cliffhanger, so many open questions that I can't wait to see the answers to in the next two books. So I'm really glad I reread this. It was great. I kept my original rating, 5 out of 5 stars. It was amazing. This book was also 390 pages. I didn't get to my other two books, which were Anne and the French Kiss and Across the Universe, but I finished my goal of those three, which completes all the challenges that I set up myself for, except for 300 pages a day. Altogether, I read 1,338 pages. I'm really proud of myself, and I am just amazed that I can read 3 books in a week when I can usually just read one. So I know if I really put my mind to it, I can read a lot more books than I usually do. I'm really glad it took place in this read-a-thon, and I will definitely be doing it next year or whenever they decide to have another one. And I hope if you didn't do it this year, you will do it next. So these are all the 3 books that I read, and I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you next time. Bye!